shots at prowess, but Kambosos is right there. Opponents only landing 9.0 punches per round. We will have 3 national anthems before this world title fight.
Gentlemen, we are moments away from the main event. At this time, we would like to honor both of these undefeated champions with their respective national anthems. First up, here to perform the national anthem of the United States of America, please welcome Mr. Ben Clark.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fire o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof.
Is there an Aussie saying the American national anthem?
Was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet?
DJ, put that soccer boy guy on timeout. Teach him a lesson.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor the heritage of George Kambosos Jr. and his family, here to sing the national anthem of Greece, please welcome Miss Tina Kakalis.
All right, guys, we are live real time. They're doing the national anthems for the main event of George Kambosos versus Devin Haney. If you're watching this in post, we're doing a live main event fight commentary. They're singing the national anthems, and the fighters are about to walk out to the ring. Take your time while you're here. Like the video, subscribe. We're going to be here as long as the fight lasts and a little longer, for about an hour or so, depending on if the fight goes the distance or not. My colleague, Big J, who's there at the arena right now covering the fight for us, Fight View 360, he's going to try to get interviews with George Kambosos and Devin Haney after the fight. After this stream, we're also going to be doing a post-fight show, which is going to be the post-fight press conference as well. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be chopping this video all up. So right now, it is 11:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me check right now. Alexa, what time is it in Melbourne, Australia?
In Melbourne.
It's 1:14 p.m. over there right now. Let's listen to the national anthems, and then we're going to start. Take your time out.
Once again,
like the video, subscribe if you haven't. We're going to be checking in for brief in-between round highlights, brief legal fair use. We're not doing anything illegal. And we're going to be talking about the scorecards, and we're going to be live scoring the fight for as long as it goes. I'm predicting Devin Haney by decision. My colleagues predicting George Kambosos by knockout. Also, all the people he talked to there are rooting for George Kambosos. Of course, it's Australia. Showtime. So I'll be right back.
Nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing.
It's supposed to be close to 50,000 plus in attendance at the fight. I got to reload my vape here, so we're going to be talking during the fight. We're going to be scoring it. Here's Buffer.
Fighters coming to the ring. Are you ready? Let's get this party started. Now making his entrance to the ring, the undefeated champion, Devin the Dream Haney.
Well, we have to mute that. That's copyrighted music right there. So that's the last thing I need is to have to deal with that shit. So how you guys doing this evening? We are here live during the main event. I'm expecting for traffic to pick up on the channel a little bit later on. I'm so glad that this fight is here. I'm so sick and tired of talking about it. Also, what's up with Australian boxing stadium events with the beach chairs? What's up with that? If you don't know, Bill Haney, the father of Devin Haney, got there about 12 or so hours ago. 11th hour, last minute approval of his visa. I'm really actually surprised that even though he is the underdog, that he's such a favorite among Aussies. Well, I guess, you know, you have to support your own. The last thing, how was the turnout? Here we are right here. This is a live feed of the venue. It's supposed to be 50,000 plus there. I only have it muted because they're playing copyrighted music. But we're going to be here talking about the fight. And remember, I'm going to be scoring in between rounds. Yeah, like, what's up with the lawn chairs? Like, what's up with that? Why do they always have those? They had him at, remember they had him at Pacquiao Horn too. My colleague Big J got an interview with Jeff Horn, by the way. Shout out to him. He's there right now. ESPN production is trash. I don't think so. ESPN production is pretty tight. Here's Devin Haney on his way to the ring, leaving the locker room. So how you guys doing? By the way, take the time out, please. It really helps out. We're not doing this for our health. And also, I've been here working. What time is it? 11:18. I've been working and like building my podcast and editing videos and everything since about 7:30 this morning. I'm about to load this. Can you see it? I'm about to load this into my my PAX 3 here. It's a Blue Dream Haze. It's a high powered 26% THC sativa. It's going to give me the extra boost that I need to make it through the rest of the night, especially with you degenerates, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a whole bunch of people coming in here. You know, what are they doing? They're jamming. What are they doing?
Small crowds, putting the foundation of his career together brick by brick. And now this moment.
All right, let's meet that.
The biggest prize you can achieve.
Yeah, but look, you see him, the lawn chairs? Like, that's like their shit. They love them lawn chairs over there in Australia. You know, maybe it's like the cultural differences. So as I was saying, overall, nice solid card. Lucas Browne opened up the main card, knocking out Junior Fa in one round. That was pretty crazy, you know? Yeah, it was a lot of filler during this event. It was a lot of filler. You know, during this ESPN broadcast, they should have shown the swing fights. Too much filler. There is George Kambosos with his team. One final prayer before the ring walk. Likely, in my opinion, his last ring walk as a undisputed champion. I have Devin Haney, you know, and no, it's not because I'm a Yankin, because I'm, you know, half black, half Irish, and half full-blooded Mexican. It's because I just think he's just, you know, the better fighter. Yeah, he got rocked by Jorge Linares. Yeah, you know, he went the distance with 1 foot, 1 shoe, old Gamboa. But nonetheless, this dude is good, especially if he just goes out there to box and not try to, you know, like really, really push it. But I think he's going to try to, you know, make a statement you know, to try to become like a star. Primetime ESPN he's on here in the States. Yo, did you see this creeper? Look at this creeper that was dancing. I think this is George Kambosos' wife. Look at this creeper right here. That creeper. Anyway. But yeah, man, what's up with y'all? And remember, after the fight, we're going to end this stream, and then I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back for a live feed of the post-fight press conference. And with post-fight highlights, knockouts, if there's a knockout, scorecards to go over, and all the reactions from the fighters after the fight. Because I'm pretty sure, you know, there's going to be some guys that's going to have something to say, like Teofimo Lopez, going to be posting some shit on Twitter. Maybe we'll hear something from Tank Davis and, you know, God knows who. I don't think that's her boyfriend. That's Kambosos' baby mom, I think. Like his wife, right? That's his wife, isn't it? So I'm going to hold it. Here's Devin Haney finally walking.
Father Bill just off his right arm. For the better part of the past month, the thought was Bill wouldn't be here. He was originally denied a visa by Australia. It was a 30-year-old conviction of a legal matter that predated Devin's birth. But at the 11th hour, and with an appeal, Bill found out that he could get on that plane in Vegas and be by his son's side. What a joyous reunion.
All right, let me mute that. So, I can't play the music that's copywritten. But yeah, let's go look at the guys on the undercard. Where we at? Did I take that doggone card down? Doggone it. So, if Teofimo, if Devin Haney wins, he's going to have to fight George Kambosos again in Australia. But from my understanding, there's not a rematch clause. It's not a two-way fight like I thought it would be. Like, so say, for example, if Kambosos wins, does Devin Haney get a second shot? Like, how does this work? Because he did say in an interview with Mark Kriegel, George Kambosos say that he didn't want, you know, a rematch clause. You know, he wanted just to get it all over with. But one thing for sure is he's a confident dude. And that whole shit with the scales yesterday, and whoever said it in the chat, you're right. It was some Mickey Mouse bullshit going on with the scales and the weigh-in yesterday. That's Devin Haney in the ring. George Kambosos is on his way out. 40,000+ in attendance. I'm going to get the official number for you sometime during the stream. Solid card so far from what we were able to see. Most of it was filler here in the States on ESPN, but at least the ring walk time was on time. They listed it as 11:15 p.m., 1:15 for you guys, and they actually did it on time. You know, because ESPN cards have a tendency to run a little bit late. But we're waiting for Kambosos to come out.
Ferocious Kambosos Jr.
It's what this city of 5 million's been waiting for. It's what this crowd.
I'm not going to play that either. That sounds like it's got copyright written all over it too. But yeah, the Greeks definitely turned out. They're definitely up in there. You know, this is a massive event. And it's rumored some really, really big money. It's rumored that Devin Haney's going to, I don't believe these numbers, by the way, but it's rumored that Devin Haney's going to be making about $10 million. And George Kambosos, you know, upwards to the same. I don't know. I don't believe those numbers, but they're making some big money. Don't let the bullshit fool you. You know, they're making just about as good of money, if not, I'm pretty sure better than what Tank Davis made against Rolly Romero on pay-per-view. But they're making some really, really good money. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, the way, you know, I mean, the past is the past, you know. But George was saying that if he wins, he's going to welcome Lomachenko over to Australia to fight him next. So one thing about George Kambosos is, as they say in boxing, he definitely wants to smoke. Like, he wants to fight. Okay, man, can you get in the ring, G's? Like, he definitely wants to fight, like, the best top-level competition. That's for sure. But let's go look at Devin Haney while they're doing the ring walk. 27-0 with 15 KOs. There he is in the ring. Oh, well, they're showing George walk out. 27-0 with 15 KOs. Notable wins over Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares, Yorkis Gamboa. These two guys right here, he's supposed to knock them out. He didn't even get a knockdown on them. And in fact, Jorge Linares buzzed him. There was Kambosos making his way to the ring. Look at the atmosphere. Zaire Abdulayev, who knocked out Jorge Linares in his last fight. George Kambosos, 20-0 with 10 KOs. Notable wins: Teofimo Lopez, Lee Selby, Mickey Bay. Let's see what he comes out to. But overall, nice atmosphere, though. I'm hyped for this fight. I'm hyped. My bad. Getting ready. I'm going to be scoring the rounds. We're going to be showing highlights, brief highlights of anything significant in between rounds for those who care. Boy, I am tired. But also, once again, we're going to be here after this stream. We're going to do the post-fight press conference and hear from the winner and the loser, hopefully, you know, unless somebody has to go to the hospital or something. Here is the rankings in the 135-pound division. By the way, on my other screen, you have Steve Fulton and Danny Roman, who are in round number 9. So far, from what I'm seeing, Steve Fulton is winning. Okay, they're in the ring. They're in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all right, it's
this
time.
is the moment we've been waiting for.
All right, so once again, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to be scoring the fight, showing highlights in between rounds, and then we're going to talk about the fight after, and then end the stream, and then I'm going to do the post-fight press conference, the post-fight live show with highlights, scorecards, and everything concerning the fight for about another hour or so. Thanks for watching.
Of the world.
Please subscribe.
Somebody's O has got to go. It's all brought to you by Hall of Fame promoter Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment in association with Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated. Along with Ferocious Promotions, Devin Haney Promotions, TIG Sport, and Duco Events. Sponsored by The Drop.pro, the official NFT site. Visit Victoria, Culture Kings, Tab, and Crypto Spend. Sanctioned by the Combat Sports Board of Victoria and the World Boxing Council, the World Boxing Association, the World
What's going on?
Organization.
Any questions before we start? Because I'm about to lock in once they hit round 1. What's your predictions?
The officials scoring, our judges.
Here, I'll do a poll.
Zoltan Enyedi. From Poland, Pavel Kargini. From Canada, Benoit Rousseau. And the referee in charge of the action at the bell from Panama, Hector Afu. And now, from Marvell Stadium, here in Victoria, Australia, this is the contest the world has been waiting for. 50,000 fans in attendance.
Hold on, I'm making a poll.
The officials are ready. The fighters are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's
hold on. You'll see it pop up in the chat in a minute. Kambosos, KO. And they only give you 4 options, so I can't put draw. But there you go. I just put a poll in the chat.
Wearing khaki and officially weighing in
And I'm going to read out the results.
92 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one. 27 fights, 27 victories, including 15 wins by knockout. From Las Vegas, Nevada, he is the lightweight fighting pride of the United States of America.
I think the key for Devin Haney,
and defending, undefeated.
I think the key for, wait, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Great champion of the world.
I'm going to listen to this.
Devin, the Dream Haney. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold with blue, officially weighing in at 134.49 pounds. Like his opponent, he also has a perfect professional record, consisting of,
I think the key for Haney is to not try to push it too much, because we see that even though he's not known to be necessarily a knockout fighter, he can drop you, George Kambosos, and he does have a chin. So he already got rocked by Jorge Linares, and that pretty much put like a stain on him. I think, you know, even if fans say it's going to be a boring fight, I say be a boxer. You know, for Kambosos, I think he needs to push to be the pressure fighter, because he's not the better fighter and he doesn't have the longer reach than Devin Haney. So he has to be ferocious, as his alias is. You know, push the pressure, get into his face, you know, give him something to think about like he did Teofimo Lopez. But here we are. All right, guys, time to go. All right,
in
round
his
number
last
one.
fight when George Kambosos, Timmy,
Round number one. I'm going to be doing some commentary. Put Cam, my little trusty score pad here. Haney. Here we are.
Who floored him with a huge right of his own. Devin Haney early on in most of his career comes out, controls things with the jab.
The poll so far has 43%.
Dictates the pace of the fight.
If you can vote on the poll at the top of the chat, that would be great. But so far it says 44% Haney by decision. Second close is Kambo's decision. Third is 21% Haney by KO. All right, round number one. 10 seconds in, Devin Haney pops out a jab. Nothing too spectacular so far. Still early in the fight. Round number one, normally known to be a feeling out round. Kambosos right there. So far, fighters are in the middle of the ring. This is a good sign right here. That is going to be some action-packed shit.
Use probes, feints, level changing jabs to confuse and keep Kambosos off balance.
How was the background volume? Can y'all hear like the commentary from the other side?
His career. Then in more recent outings.
All right, 1 minute into the fight, nothing happened. You know, don't be surprised if this round one is one of those rounds that can go to either fighter, because nothing's happening so far. Both fighters have exchanged, you know, like little glancing jabs, but nothing that stuck out.
Did you see that jab of Haney came out, but did you see the automatic response from Kambosos? He's a reactive fighter. He reacts to anything that his opponents do.
Haney, another jab. Basically, it seems as though they're trying to counterpunch each other for this first round, and it's like no activity at all. It's a lot of this right here. I'm gonna show you.
Kambosos is sitting on the right hand. That's what he wants.
It's a lot of this.
Looking for an overhand right. He's looking for Haney up there.
Okay, well, that's the first little explosion. That's the first little explosion of the fight, but that ain't no explosion.
Against him.
No, you can't. Media can't record from an event. That's still bootlegging, major.
Steady work from the jab with Devin Haney.
That just doesn't work like that.
Nice little tie-up right there.
1 minute left in the round. Honestly,
Right down the middle, caught Kambosos,
as I said, this is one of those type of rounds where who do you give it to? And right now, Haney has like a little tiny edge off of these little glancing jabs that he's throwing for round number one. But there's really nothing to really score this round off of.
Here the crowd reacts.
Okay, George Kambosos responded back with a
Nothing effective there, but this is exactly what we talk about these stadium settings.
Kambosos is playing the counter puncher. He's trying to counter Haney with something.
That kind of reaction. Hector Afu
But for those who are watching so far, it's 20 seconds left in round number 1. And this is one of those rounds, as I said before, in like a lot of boxing matches where you have high-quality boxers. Round 1 can be often difficult to try to give to a fighter because they're really just filling each other out. But so far, Kambosos is doing just a little bit more now. I think I'm going to give round 1 to Kambosos.
And the right hand comes to close out round 1 for Devin Haney.
See, if we they just cut the commercial break. I forgot that they do this on ESPN broadcast. I forgot. Well, anyway, when they go to commercial break in between the early rounds, we get a chance to talk. So who did you give round number 1 to? So far, the poll says, with 67 votes at the top of the chat, 45% say Haney's going to win by decision, 24% Kambosos by decision, 19% Haney by KO, 13% Kambosos by KO. Also on Showtime right now, Steve Fulton and Danny Roman are going the distance. And even though I have the commentary muted and trying to cover 2 cards at the same time, looks like Stephen Fulton is, somewhat pitching a shutout. So I'm going to give round number 1 to Haney, but once again, it's one of those rounds that can go any place. We're here live real time and watching on ESPN here in the States. Over in Australia, it's on a main event pay-per-view for $60. Here's a little bullshit highlight right here. They didn't win back now. So round number 2.
Back here, round number 2 for the Undisputed Lightweight Championship. In that first round, Devin Haney.
Okay, so they meet back in the middle of the ring again. Same place they left off in round number 1. Here's the punch stats, by the way, for those who want to see. 8 of 18 landed by Kambosos. And 5 of, what was that?
That's going to do a lot of damage right there.
13 by...
Nice comeback right there. Great defense from
so far, Kambosos is looking like a sharper boxer in this little bit of time in the fight so far.
Tried to come with the right hand behind at that time.
That's a 4-inch reach advantage for Haney.
But that round 1 could definitely be a Kambosos round.
72-inch reach.
But see, since, I watch so much boxing, I try not to score bullshit punches. I'm trying to look for stuff that connects. Hey, somebody put that guy on timeout. Don't be spamming my chat, bro. All right, well, I'll do it myself. Don't be spamming my chat. Where my moderators at? What are you guys doing? Whoa.
He paid the price coming forward.
Devin Haney just ate a big shot. Was that Haney? Wait a minute. It was. Let me see if I can get you a replay. Biggest punch of the fight so far just came from George Kambosos. He can box.
See, Haney got to be patient. He got to be cautious. He got to be patient.
And Haney's trying to work off the jab.
He needs to be first and also last.
And Kambosos is, trying to counter and throwing big power shots. But so far, this is a George Kambosos round. And for a guy that only has what? How many KOs does Kambosos have? I believe it's 8 or is it 10? I believe it's 10, right?
Changing levels with the jab.
10. He's got some power in his punches.
On the inside, tried to go with the short right hand. Then they tie up. A fool will separate them.
He's definitely got some power in his punches. But so far in there, he is home. It is his stadium,
Kambosos has to keep resetting his feet every time Haney lands a jab.
And that's pretty much what Devin Haney's doing. He's really just working off of the jab. And you got to think, we have to also factor in Devin Haney is in Australia. You have to be somewhat dominant to be able to, and there are neutral judges. These judges are not even from Australia or America. You still want to make sure, you win kind of dominantly. Because right now, these could be 2 belt. These could be 2 rounds in the bank for George Kambosos. It can easily be 2-0. Because right now, I'm giving that to Kambosos. And now on my card, I have it 1-1. Round 1 I gave to Devin Haney. Round 2, and that was that could have been a close round. It could have went either way because the punch stats say that Kambosos landed better. Landed more shots. You know, but it can easily be 2-0 each, like either way. You know, but I have it 1-1. My colleague, Big J, and also a lot of Australian boxing fans are predicting a KO by George Kambosos. Interesting. Me, once again, I have it a decision by Devin Haney, but he's in Australia. Now, he has to start picking it up a little bit because him just trying to work off the jab on foreign soil, trying to fight for undisputed, you know, and everything George is throwing and landing, the fans are going crazy. That's not going to be the right game plan. Round number 3. It's not going to be the right game plan. So once again, this is what they've been doing. This is how the rounds have been starting off.
It's an extremely technical match right now. This is high-speed chess. That's what you're watching.
And if I'm being honest, Kambosos is looking faster on the hands.
Haney realizing the speed of Kambosos, the
See,
footwork of Kambosos, and how quickly he reacts to every move that he makes. So he has to be careful.
You know, like he's looking more explosive and faster, George Kambosos.
His foot speed, his hand speed, being the big advantage.
But you have to also factor in Devin Haney is 23 years old. He's never been on this type of stage before. Even when he was over on the zone with Eddie Hearn, he's never been in this type of big a fight. Like, this is big time shit.
Now that distance when he throws it at the right range, Haney, he has no problem.
So right now, 2 minutes left in round number 3. And Devin Haney just working off the jab is not enough. Okay, he tried to throw a sneaky little uppercut there on George Kambosos. Here's another little brief look in. See, it's a lot of this going on. You see? It's a lot. That's not going to do it. Okay. He's opening up a little bit, Devin Haney, as we had just went back to the live fight. The jabs aren't landing. Nice big overhand right by Devin Haney. He's starting to open up a little bit.
See, now Haney realizing now he has to use some combinations at times.
So far, halfway through the fight, halfway through the round, this is a Devin Haney round. His best round and most active so far. He's not just trying to box off the jab. There he is. He's going in for the KO. Or he's trying to go for big shots, I mean. Yeah, here's look at the arms of and the reach of Haney versus Kambosos. And they can open up Kambosos because he has the lunge. And a lot of his shots are starting to become short. 40 seconds left in round number 3. Haney round so far. Not by much, but this is definitely a Haney round. You can say. Because George Kambosos is now having a hard time landing. Haney's trying to land this chopping down right when Kambosos comes in. And so far, this round, Devin Haney is showing some defensive prowess. About, what, 15 seconds left in round number 3. So far, Devin Haney round. Devin Haney round. Round number 3. Up there on commercial. So here in the States, they go on commercial, showing Jurassic Park commercials and shit on ESPN, which is our platform here where we have the fight. Stephen Fulton just defeated Dana Roman to retain his WBO and WBC titles. I'm going to be covering that fight in the morning, meaning doing a post-fight video. Obviously, I can't do it now because I'm sitting here live. But so far, I have it 2-1. I gave Devin Haney rounds 1 and rounds 3. Kambosos round number 2. But round number 1 and 2 could easily go to Kambosos. Easily, but also, remember, these rounds are technically close regarding punch stats, except for that 3rd round. So this is on foreign soil, and these are judges that are from not even from Australia or America. I forgot exactly where they're from. Round number 4 starting. So don't be surprised if these judges can have Kambosos up all 3 rounds. Do not be surprised.
That was put forth
round number 3, 15 seconds in. Excuse me, round number 4.
In the corner afterwards.
By the way, it'll be great if you take your time out, like the video, subscribe while you're here. That'll be great.
Double jab didn't fire off the right hand as he stepped forward.
But Haney has to be cautious.
Kambosos is more so looking for a big statement-making shot, kind of like he did with Teofimo. And so far, he hasn't been able to land it. And he's starting to look. It's still early, round number 4, but he's starting to really. It started last round. He's starting to lunge and swing wildly, to where he'll swing so bad that he turns his whole back. It's happened 2 times now.
That stab
jab to the body, just that stab jab right to the belt line.
Oh, that makes you reset too, and it sipes your gas tank test.
But you can tell the jab is starting to bother Kambosos a little bit. Even though they may not be landing, it's starting to get him a little, edgy.
That automatic reset you described to keep Kambosos at bay offensively.
Yes, there is a rematch.
Off balance, confused.
It's going to happen sometime October, November, December in Australia as well. Remember, this is for Undisputed, all of the belts. Up, clean jab by Devin Haney. So far, another Devin Haney round. Right hand around the guard of Kambosos from Devin Haney. About 80 seconds left in the round. Devin Haney round again. Clear Devin Haney round, by the way. This is a clear Devin Haney round so far. 1 minute left. And yes, the jab is starting. In rounds 1 and number 2, the jab wasn't really doing anything. But now, especially in round number 4, the jab has given George Kambosos some problems. But remember, some judges don't respect the jab. Some judges don't respect the jab. But rounds 3 and now this round up right here with 40 seconds left, it's definitely a Devin Haney round. And Devin Haney's using a lot of good movement. My only issue is sometimes he seems to be ducking a little bit too low. And I don't want him to lean into anything from Kambosos. He ducks, to evade, to move out the way. And George is starting to pressure a little bit more, but Devin, will tie up. Big left hook from Kambosos on the Devin Haney. Kambosos just eats a real stiff jab. End of round number 4. And that, a commercial break again. In the round number 4. So remember, as I said, up until later on in the fight, I believe it's round 8 or so, is when they don't go to commercial break in between the rounds. So that is another Haney round. So far, I've only given round number 2 to Kambosos. And those could easily be the other way. The scores for Fulton versus Roman were 120 to 108. He won every single round on the judges' scorecards. And on Steve Faroukh's card, Roman only won 2 rounds. Gee, shutout. And that's for the WBO and WBC championships at 122 pounds. The other 2 championships belong to, here's a highlight. I don't like how they're bullshitting around with the highlights here on this broadcast, because really it's a main event broadcast and Top Rank is just streaming it or playing it.
Champion, giving him an earful, trying to put forth.
All right, round number 5.
Plan and how they can deliver against.
So far, 3-1 on my card for Devin Haney.
With that jab and with that range.
Right now, Kambosos is operating at the wrong range. He's trying to outbox.
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
He needs to get inside and try to rough things up. Need to let those combinations fly. Whoa, nice.
There's a right uppercut.
Beautiful shot right up the middle, in between the offense of Kambosos.
Devin Haney starting to come into his own. Once again,
it's beautiful boxing by.
We'll be here for the post-fight press conference after the fight's over. It's going to be a separate stream, so look out on the channel. Nice body shot from George Kambosos. But so far, Kambosos is having a really hard time hitting Devin Haney now, like a really hard time. And if he gets frustrated and starts lunging, I won't be surprised if he gets dropped or wobbled, because it's starting to look like that may come a little bit later on as he tires and he starts to really try to push his punches out there.
Tess, when you have an elusive target like Haney, you got to focus in one area. You got to focus down to the body. That's where Kambosos needs to focus. Use that jab down to the body, shoot right hands down to the body. He needs to throw him straight, too. You don't need to loop him.
It's only but so loud I could turn it up. Nice overhand right by Devin Haney, but Kambosos responds back with a little small flurry to the body. This is a better round for Kambosos than rounds number 3 and 4, but still, nonetheless, he's losing. Just got pushed back by a jab from Devin Haney. The jab is becoming a problem because it's starting to touch now. Earlier in the fight, it was just kind of nicking the nose of Kambosos, but now it's starting to like rock his head back.
Speed things up. He'll show a flicking jab, then he'll throw a straight jab right behind it. It's confusing Kambosos.
Like the jab is, I'm hoping that just the jab is respected on these judges' scorecards and not, you know, the fact that Kambosos is, you know, like really trying to push the fight. But this jab, I'm going to try to get you a highlight. This jab is really giving George Kambosos some real issues. And it's like it's rocking his head back.
Can hear the corner of Haney encouraging him to put the right hand behind the jab at this point.
He does need to put the right hand behind the jab.
Free swinging with a right of his own, and again, Haney able to get out.
But it's not looking good for George. He's getting outboxed. And this is another Devin Haney round that's clearly in the bag. A lot closer than rounds number 3 and 4, but a round clearly in the bag. Another commercial break. So I have it 4-1 for Devin Haney. 4-1 for Devin Haney. Hold on. On commercial break, I'm sorry to keep harassing you, but please take your time out. Like the video if you haven't already. Thanks a lot. After this stream is over, after the fighters do their post-fight interviews and we talk about what's next for the fighters, there's going to be a post-fight press conference in which we're going to be streaming as well. Where we're going to go over the scorecards, go through and actually break down fight highlights, go look at other fighters' reactions, like, you know, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, talk about the undercard, and so on. Let's see. We get you some highlights here. I want to see if I can get you something of the jab. You can see, like, you know, like his nose is getting red. But let's just hope that the jab is being respected by the judges, because that's the biggest tool of Devin Haney right now. He's winning off of the jab.
In Melbourne, Australia, by the American hopeful
round number
Devin
6. 2 minutes 50 seconds left.
The jab and changing the rhythm of the jab and also the upper body movement of Haney.
Okay, now Devin Haney's trying to throw the right hand behind the jab.
And problems.
Kambosos is starting to look bewildered. Like, body language is starting to look a little, you know, he's
every now and then tries to change his rhythm up, but then Haney quickly.
As I said, my concern is that he's going to lunge, you know, get frustrated, and he might get dropped. Because that jab can do that to you. When somebody's constantly, you know, tagging you up with the jab, it can make boxers, you know, like lose their game plan and, you know, start like just trying to throw punches out of anywhere with no frustration, and then end up getting their ass dropped or knocked out.
Haney just got to be careful not to fall asleep one. And he also needs to be
correct.
careful,
Kambosos' energy is draining. Like his tenacity or ferociousness. It's like, you know, he's slowing down. Almost like, you know, he doesn't have a game plan anymore. And eventually he's going to start looking for just one shot, and I think that's where he may get into trouble. But so far, once again, a Devin Haney round. We are 1 minute 40 seconds left into round number 6. We're going into the halfway point of the fight. I'm T-Street Controversy with Fight View 360. My colleague Big J is there interviewing fighters, and he's going to be likely, hopefully, catching up with Kambosos and Haney after the fight to get their thoughts. George Kambosos is looking real suspect right now. I don't like his punches are getting a little lazier.
It leads with a left hook. There it is. His corner was calling for that after the 5th round. We heard that from Javier Centeno.
Haney usually defaults to that area. He'll lean on that back foot, Tess. He'll drop that right hand at times. He's open for the left hook.
Nice overhand right by Devin Haney, but nonetheless, Kambosos did have the biggest punch of the round. But I can't say he's winning the round because he's still getting, you know, like eating the jab and eating cleaner punches. And also, you're starting to notice a trend of when Kambosos starts to come in, you try to go to the body, Devin Haney ties him up. That may piss people off later on.
Nice check hook right there. Catching Kambosos with his chin up. Right hand
So
down.
you see how he'll go in for a flurry and then he grab him? That's going to piss people off, but it is boxing. So he's not letting Kambosos work on the inside. Like, he'll be evasive in the middle of the ring, you know, jabbing, but once Kambosos gets close and Haney slows down, you know, and can't get out the way, he'll just grab him. Like right now, let's see if we can catch it right here. So I'm still going to give that round to Devin Haney, even though it was a closer round by Kambosos. Still, nonetheless, on my card, it's 5-1. And the first 2 rounds could have went either way. But rounds 3, 4, 5 were clear Devin Haney rounds. Round number 6, you know, I never said holding. Holding is not illegal. What are you talking about? What are y'all talking? That's why I don't read the chat during fights. Y'all just making up shit.
Lift his head up. How you gonna do that? He goes lead uppercut, right hand. I never really heard it before. Get off the line, lead uppercut, right hand. Kind of risky, fellas.
How about Big Game Dane traveling all the way down here to Australia, saying I gotta be here if history is made for Devin Haney. Listen, there are a lot of pro athletes who are huge.
Here's the venue.
Nobody I know a bigger fight.
The garden chairs.
He's blowing up our DMs all the time, every single weekend.
Round number 7.
Fights, and
the halfway point
to see if Devin
of the fight
can keep boxing his way to success. Round number 7.
Let me see here. Like, here's the thing. It doesn't, like, George Kambosos doesn't have a game plan. And, you know, the problem I have is he's trying to box Devin Haney. We knew that wasn't going to work. He's got to be ferocious. He's got to be the pressure fight. Like, look, check left hook. He's trying to box him. Is it close enough to have a draw? No, it's not. I don't think it's close enough for it to be a draw if the fight was to end now. Devin Haney's winning these rounds clean. And it's mostly off the jab. My concern is, how do these judges respect the jab? Because we've seen with Erislandy Law versus Canelo, majority of his punches were jabs. Go look at those punch stats when you get a chance tomorrow. And that wasn't enough for him to win against Canelo.
That's what it's about. Stay simple, it's working.
I'm trying to think of some other fights off the top of my head where a fighter was in a close fight, but the jab didn't do enough for the judges to get the win.
He's still hot.
Right hand to the body.
But so far, nothing really is getting done.
And Haney's throwing everything. Everything.
Like, I mean, Kambosos doesn't have a game plan.
Right now, he has no idea.
See, listen to the commentary.
He's getting hit.
Nice jab by Kambosos. But he's getting completely outboxed.
Ooh, heads came together right there.
He's getting completely outboxed. Well, Devin Haney was always known to be like the better boxer with the higher IQ. That's what everyone's been saying. You know, we don't have a lot of people saying that Kambosos was going to be able to outbox Devin Haney. And frankly, this is the wrong fight for Kambosos. He shouldn't be trying to box Devin Haney. He needs to go after him. But the problem is, when he tries to go after him, Devin Haney does tie him up to neutralize him, and then the referee sets it, and then it starts back over in the middle of the ring.
And setting up shots like that right hand, short right hand from Haney.
A little rough stuff. Like, some judges, they just don't respect the jab. Like, I'm a jab type of person. Like, me as a boxing fan, I love the jab. And my favorite punch overall is the straight to the body. Round number 7. I believe there's no more commercial breaks now. For example, in UFC, I like leg kicks. You know? I can respect the fighter winning off the leg kicks. But some judges, they hate that shit. You know, I'm a fan of wrestling in UFC. You know, some and ground control. Some judges hate that shit. You know? So every judge, you know, they have their own criteria. Yeah, there's no more commercial breaks. Let's listen in.
Okay? Huh? Keep him in the high guard. That's why you keep him with the feints. Stay away from the right hand. He's looking for one punch now. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for one shot. Don't give it to him. Keep boxing. Bust his face with that chair.
Bill Haney telling his son, Kambosos is looking for one shot. Don't give it to him.
He's exactly right.
Round number 8.
These desperate situations and desperate moments for fighters. You can't get caught up in that. You got to remain focused.
So far, I've only given George Kambosos 1 round. He could possibly have 2.
46 jabs through 7 rounds.
You heard him. 46 jabs landed by Devin Haney through 7 rounds. Also, where's Andre Ward?
The skill set, the athleticism, the speed, the footwork, the fast twitch muscles of Devin Haney.
See, jab. You saw that before I clicked it off. By the way, it'd be great if we can get to 200 likes on the channel. I don't ask you guys for money unless you want to send me some super chat. Shit. Least you can do is like the video. Don't get me cussing. He's bewildered. He's lost. Look at his face. The redness of Kambosos' face. It's nothing he can do. He's trying to get more aggressive. Don't be surprised if Kambosos gets knocked out or dropped. We got 4 rounds left. Because if Devin Haney, you know, starts throwing that right hand more behind the jab, he may be able to catch George because George is trying to press a little more, but he just can't get past the jab.
Above the eye and a little bit of swelling underneath.
Kambosos has the whole his game plan is all fucked up. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do you agree that Kambosos should be the pressure fighter, should try to rough Haney up, but because what it's looking like is he's trying to box Devin Haney. Look, he's trying to box him, and it's like it's not doing nothing. It's not working. You know, Devin Haney is a high-class boxer. Devin Haney, Kambosos has got to be ferocious, as his moniker is.
Haney's pulling out everything. He's pulling out everything. And again, he's looking sweet.
Yeah, they are quiet in there.
Right now.
And then the footwork.
The energy has been sucked out the arena. Kambosos is going to lose his belts. I hope they don't rob Devin Haney. We got to talk about it. We've seen some fucked up shit happen in boxing. And don't be surprised, there's likely going to be one scorecard that's going to be completely fucked. Once again,
he has to close the distance somehow and let those combinations fly. Something will eventually land.
you know why Marcos Maidana had so much success with Floyd Mayweather? It's because he said, fuck boxing. I'm coming out here to try to beat your ass. And he was throwing punches everywhere, all over the place. Another round for George Kambosos. George Kambosos on my card needs a knockout. Thank you for the super chat, Anthony Overton. You can hear a mouse in the crowd. Yeah. Beautiful arena. Look at that. So yeah, Kambosos has the wrong game plan. He went out there to try to outbox Devin Haney, and look, he getting his ass jabbed to death. So after this stream, we're going to take a half-an-hour break and then be on the lookout on the channel because we're going to be here for the post-fight press conference and listen to the fighters. Hopefully both fighters show up. Of course, the champion, the winner's going to show up, but hopefully the loser, what's looking like it's Kambosos, hopefully we see him show up. And also think about it like this. That's supposed to be a rematch. What can he do differently in the rematch? He's got to be the pressure fighter. You think he's going to decline the rematch? Do you even want to see a rematch of this with the way things are going?
Change the tempo. It's too much sitting in front. Close that gap quickly. Come behind the jab. Throw combinations to the head and body. Don't allow Haney to tie him up.
Round number 9.
And Haney comes right back out.
Round number 9.
And double jabs, and then goes with the uppercut.
I get what you're saying, Neil, but at the same time, you in a fight. And when you're fighting Floyd Mayweather going for history, oh, big overhand right.
Right hand comes in from Haney.
Oh, right hand from Kambosos.
Kambosos fires back.
One thing about Devin Haney is sometimes he can be gun shy, where it's like, bro, throw the right hand. He just did again. 2 big right hands landed by Devin Haney on George Kambosos.
Bill Haney, the father and trainer of Devin.
Let's listen in.
Tell me what your son, how he's opening him up.
Oh, he's breaking him down. He's breaking him down slowly. He's been working the stick.
Was the trip worth it? Bill, was it? Oh.
Did Devin Haney just get dropped? It was a slip.
Nothing.
We need to see a replay. Something happened while Bill was
He's driving that Rolls Royce.
Something happened while Bill was talking. I'll see if I can get you a replay in between rounds. 90 seconds left in round number 9. Big jab by Devin Haney almost took George Kambosos' head off. But one thing for sure is Kambosos is more aggressive in this 9th round. I would love to have heard what they told him in between rounds, because he's come out like, you know, he needs a big shot. He's going to need a knockout.
Let those hands go. He has to return fire. He's not being reactive like he was early on.
It was a trip. We're going to look at the replay anyway. George is being a lot more aggressive. That's for sure. But overall, still, Devin Haney's winning. Big punches of the round so far, 3 overhand rights by Devin Haney. The cleanest 3 that he's thrown in the fight, just in one round. Or connected in just one round. Big jabs. Another overhand right. Like big jabs. Them jabs are like, you get to see like the whiplash on Kambosos' neck.
Some redness and swelling just under the
like he
right
just
eye
can't do
of
nothing
Devin Haney.
like about it.
Nearly a clash of heads on the inside.
George leading with the head a little bit.
Round 9. Getting rough in there.
Jeez. Another Devin Haney round. So I have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds to 1 for Devin Haney. Let's listen in.
To be sharper on your shots. You need to sharpen up. You're a sharpshooter. Still looking for that defense. Keep your defense tight, George. Straight after, please.
Beautiful comeback right here from Kambosos.
It was a push.
We need more of this from him. That's what we need. He needs to rough up Haney if he wants to better his chances of landing something late in this fight. Haney's been elusive for the most part of this fight.
See, he threw him down. It wasn't a push or anything. I mean, it wasn't a punch. He threw him.
We ready for round number 10. Big game Dame looking up at that screen, nervously anticipating this stretch run in supporting Devin Haney. Can he keep the course in recent fights?
Round number 10.
He's had moments that he's had to get through late, especially.
Well, Cam needs a knockout. He needs a knockout.
May of 21.
And right now, look, this ain't it. This ain't it right here. Being in the middle of the ring. How do you guys feel about the rematch, though? Like, can they do another 50? Like, can the rematch even sell from this performance? Like, they would have to do a smaller venue, right? Somebody from Australia. What venue can they use? They can't do another stadium fight for this rematch, can they? You know, I mean, I don't think they can do a stadium fight. I'm just really interested to see these scorecards because I know one of them is going to be just fucked up.
111 to 95, total connect advantage. 59 of those are jabs.
Great body work right there from Kambosos.
Yeah, with this type of performance, nice overhand right by Kambosos.
Didn't do anything. Haney didn't seem phased at all by that right hand.
A 15K arena, something like that. Oh shit.
This is committing to the body now. Trying to set up something up top.
Oh, some fisticuffs here.
Shot down with the right hand. Then on the end of the exchange, he purposely grabbed down to Haney's left hand, pulled him around, and tried to see if there was any opportunity for the right of his own.
1 minute left in round number 10. Another Devin Haney round in which he's dominating just off of the jab. Now, this ain't nothing like Pacquiao versus Horn. Jeff Horn was doing some work. You know, he went out there, he was roughing Manny Pacquiao up. Kambosos went in here to try to outbox Devin Haney. That wasn't smart at all.
It's double impact if you can catch him right at the right time as he's coming in.
I can't wait to hear his post-fight interview. And the head movement is not there. Another one in the bag for Devin Haney.
To be an undisputed champion in the
You know, hey, listen, Australian fans, I know they're probably gutted right now. You know, it's just not. Let's listen into the corner.
Canelo did it at super middleweight a year ago.
I'm telling you.
Okay?
You
got
can't
that
sit
right.
and let him fucking unload.
When we get inside, okay, I can't see one or two punches going, right? I
That is George Kambosos' father, Jim, hanging over the corner of that red rope there, saying you have to unload.
Yeah, you see the athletic ability and the defensive ability of Haney. And you see the frustration right here of Kambosos holding on to that lead hand of Haney, trying to find any opportunity for an advantage.
I'm disappointed in the performance of Kambosos, though, because I'm wondering, like, what was the game plan? You know, I can't believe they clearly came out here to try to outbox him. You know, the head movement is not there. He's been looking for pretty much the one shot. He hasn't been trying to lay any traps, it seems.
Not like that. It's beautiful footwork.
Able to block that punch as well.
I don't know. It's not a good look.
Veteran cornerman, father of the former welterweight champion.
We don't need no rematch for this.
Just encouraging Devin Haney. Keep doing it.
Like, this is the type of performance, like, where, like, the rematches only would be for contractual obligations and for Kambosos to make some more money. And Devin Haney to beat him the same way to make more money. You know? Like, there's nothing here that says, yo, I want to see this shit again. We're in round number 11, 2 minutes left. I've only given George Kambosos one round, and that's round number 2 on my card.
The overwhelming bet in Vegas was this fight going the distance, and that is exactly where we are headed.
Yeah, this fight has no replay value. I mean, for non-hardcore fans, you would say that this fight was boring. You would. Non-hardcore fans, casual fans, they'd be like, man, what is this? You know? But yes, the replay value for this is low, non-existent. This is not a fight where you go back and say, yo, I want to go back and watch round number whatever against Haney Kambosos. Like, no. But there's nothing memorable here. It's just that, you know, it's a masterclass, just pretty much off the jab by Devin Haney. You calling it a draw. You low down. You're low. You're lower than a snake's belly. I mean, for us hardcore, you know, sweet science aficionados and connoisseurs, you know, this is something where it's like, all right, yo, You know, I'm enjoying this nice, solid performance by Devin Haney. Now, I think G is on fucking meth. He's on opioid crisis. That's what he's doing. He's doing the whole opioid crisis. Nice little sneaky overhand right by Haney. This is possibly a round. Be honest, round number 11 is possibly a round you can give to George Kambosos. I might just give it to him out of pity. Now, I'm not going to do that. That's unethical. Because Devin Haney's just doing a lot of movement and evading this round. I just wish that maybe in round number 12 that Devin Haney steps it up. He just stuck his tongue out at him.
At desperate times, let's listen in to the corner.
You need to go ahead and press, but you can't lean forward to press. You need to get those feet underneath you and press behind that jab or a nice solid right hand left hook. I need you to end every single combination with that lead hand. It keeps you in position to defend anything he throws.
It's your part, man.
Okay?
Come on, my round 12.
Let me see a little bit more trunk movement, okay? Nice deep breath.
It is quiet in there.
Good stop for me. Okay, nice deep. Come on, Mike. Dig deep this round, okay? Don't jump
More
in.
Haney right here. Nice little jab right there. You see Kambosos throwing where Haney was going as opposed to not the target. That's
How do Australians cope with pain and defeat? Are they going to go hit the pubs and drink all their sorrows away? Because it's like fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon over there.
For the 12th and final round. Undisputed lightweight championship on the line. Devin Haney came out confident, feeling he's 3 minutes away from bringing all the belts back to Vegas. CompuBox has him with a 136-104 connect advantage. A 74-34 jab connect advantage for Devin Haney. The young American, 23 years old. You heard from the corner of George Kambosos, you have to press, you have to send the right hand, you have to bring the left hook, and you have to end every combination with that lead hand. Easier said than done against the technician and the super skilled Devin Haney. Example A right there.
Haney got to win this round too.
I'm interested to hear the scorecards.
Right now, use that stick and that boxing ability to keep frustrating Kambosos.
Yeah, I do feel that Haney definitely shouldn't step off the gas, but this has always been a problem with Haney. You know, there'll be fighters that he could possibly finish, and he just doesn't have that extra gear to go finish guys off. You know, guy like that really messes with me. I felt like that about Bivol still. I feel like that about who else? Huey Fury. And, of course, Devin Haney. It's like, yo, step on the gas. You can get him out of here if you really go for it. Now, because it looks like, you know, if he really go for it, if he puts his punches together more, he should be able to get Kambosos out of here. But, boy, this is definitely going to be a deflating defeat because what does Kambosos do from here? He can't go to 140. He's going to get beat up there. But, you know, the rematch of this doesn't make any sense. You know, and they can't do no 50K in no stadium no more for the rematch. No, they can't do that because the man then got shut out. He may be losing 10 rounds to 2. And we're 45 seconds left in the fight. Sad. 30 seconds left. Kambosos trying to be a little more aggressive. But as I said, he should have played the pressure fighter. That's my issue. So take a time out, like the video, subscribe. We're gonna listen to the post-fight interviews, talk about the fight, and go over my thoughts. Last 10 seconds of the fight. Let's see if they do one of those last flurries.
And they are bubbling up with confidence in the corner of Devin Haney. On top of the ropes, and will he soon find out he's on top of the world?
Well, while they're on commercial break, Devin Haney should cruise to a unanimous decision victory over George Kambosos. I have it 9 rounds to 3 because I'm guessing I'm generously. Those last 2 rounds, I'm going to give to George Kambosos. And I gave him round, and that's just being generous. Really, I don't want to give a round 11 to him, but definitely round 12 I can kind of give to him because Devin Haney was dancing around. There's supposed to be a rematch. You know, if the right man wins tonight, meaning Devin Haney, we're supposed to get a rematch sometime later on this year. Haney versus Kambosos too. Devin Haney should go on to defend his WBC title, but also capture the WBC franchise, unifying those fucking that bullshit WBC franchise title, WBA Super, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine Championship at 135 pounds. I got to imagine that Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis must be sick right now because Devin Haney is now on top of the division with all the belts, or he should get them all. Let's listen into the scorecards. I'm really interested in seeing these scorecards because you know one of them is going to be messed up. One of them's going to be messed up, but this is powerful. You know, the political effect that this is going to have on 135, 130, and 140 for, you know, at least another year is massive. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Our 3 judges include Sultan Enayete from Hungary, who mostly is at the championship level in the UK and throughout Europe. Paweł Cordina from Poland, who has over 900 bouts judged in a 21-year career. And Benoit Roussel from Canada, who has been on the right side of many ringside observers' opinions and scorecards for over 18 years. No geographical bias, no Australian, no American. And if they see it the way most ringside observers see it, then 23-year-old Devin Haney is about to find out that he's the undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
So while they're waiting for them to read the scorecards, George Kambosos had the wrong game plan. For some reason, he thought it would be smart for him to go out there to try to outbox Devin Haney when he should have lived up to his moniker, alias of, look at them, they're gutted. Their alias of, his alias of being ferocious. For what game plan him and his team had, I don't know. Did it have something to do with the weigh-in yesterday? Highly unlikely. But now the question is, do you want to see a rematch? Because there's a rematch clause. There's too much at stake for Kambosos not to take the rematch, because if he doesn't, kind of like Deontay Wilder, if he didn't take the rematch with Tyson Fury, he will go all the way to the back of the line. And it would be God knows when, or if ever, he gets a sniff at a world title again. You know, and that's how the politics are right now in boxing, and especially at the 35-pound division, the lightweight division. So they're supposed to have about 50,000 or so.
Of many pundits.
50,000 or so in attendance.
For being.
If they were to do a rematch, they obviously can't do it in a stadium again, right? That's just not going to sell. You know, are you even interested in a rematch? Because I'm not. When you get a type of beating like that, there's no need for a rematch. I could see if it was a knockout, but it was a close fight up to the knockout, meaning Kambosos got knocked out. And then it's like, all right, well, it was close until the knockout. All you got to do is not get knocked the fuck out again. But in this case, nah. You know, there shouldn't be, you know, like, nah, no rematch.
116 to 112. Paweł Cordina closes it. 118 to 110. All 3 judges have it for the winner by unanimous decision. From Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, now the universally recognized undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream Haney.
Devin the Dream Haney. The dream is now a reality. At 23 years old, the Oakland native, the Vegas resident, will head back to the States with every belt there is to grab onto.
He has every belt.
I don't want to hear
in the division. Shout out to Devin Haney. They made a bunch of money.
Give him his flowers right now. Devin Haney is the king right now at 135 pounds.
In a very deep division. A division with Vasily Lomachenko and Tank Davis.
That's the fight I want to see.
Between these two camps, there was a lot that was said this week at various press conferences.
That's the fight I want to see. That Lomachenko fight. They're still giving him all his belts. That's the fight I want to see. Hopefully Devin Haney keep it cool. I believe him and his pop gonna keep it cool, and they're not gonna, you know, get all fucking corny on us. No more email champ. That's done. He didn't just win one belt, he won them all. He beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. What up, Lou Duva?
Of the American who's now the undisputed world champion coming up. As Kambosos,
they're about to go on commercial break.
Center of the ring,
to be able to talk a little bit.
Sports Center is coming your way right now.
So they're about to do the post-fight interviews. George Kambosos showing love to Devin Haney and to Bill Haney. Now the rematch, I think the rematch is only inevitable because of the financial, you know, and the fact that it's too many belts, you know, just to let go. You know, George Kambosos and his team can't walk away from that chance because there's a lot of political implications. You know, if George Kambosos walks away. If George Kambosos walks away, then no telling when he'll ever be able to get a title shot again, and he'll have to work his way back up or be chosen as a voluntary. Now, the issue with the rematch is, well, it's not going to do as good as the first one. Normally, rematches don't, depending. You know, but in this case, he was dominated, and the card shown he was dominated. Yeah, you had some cards that were closer than it was supposed to be, like that 116, 112. But nonetheless, there he is. We're waiting for the post-fight interview. But, you know, there it is. Now, if they do a rematch, okay, you know, maybe they want to test their luck in America. But, you know, would fans really travel for George Kambosos at this point? You know, for a fight of this magnitude, where they'll probably try to. Thanks for the super chat, Ludabella. You blame Lomachenko for this shit. Well, if Lomachenko would have fought Kambosos tonight, which it was supposed to be, let's listen in.
8th fighter in the 4-belt era to become the undisputed champion of the world. How does that sound?
Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
It is quite the scene, quite obviously, here in the ring. What did it mean to have the man who's holding you and the belts behind you, your father, Bill, arrive here overnight for this fight?
Man, this is a dream come true. I was going through it without my dad being here because I knew this was a big moment for both of us. We both dreamed of this. Since we started out, we said we wanted to be the best. And it would have hurt me to accomplish this without him. So I'm so thankful. I thank God, alhamdulillah, that we was able to accomplish this together.
The fight itself, you looked very comfortable from early on.
Yeah, I was comfortable. I just was sticking to the game plan. The game plan was to go in there, hit, and not get hit. And I did that for majority of the fight. I took the last round off just because I knew I was comfortable ahead. But I fought a good, smart fight.
You said you knew what he would do, when he would do it, and how he would do it. Is that how it played out?
Yeah, I handicapped him of his best things. He wanted to land the overhand right hand, and he wanted to land a big left hook. I handicapped him. I was fighting both ways. When I would go to the left, I would fight his right hand. When I would go to the right, I would fight his hook, and he couldn't hit me with neither one of them.
You signed up, both of you, to do this twice. Will we see you back here later in the year in Marvel Arena again?
Inshallah, you know, if it's meant for it to happen, if Allah, you know, wants it to happen, I'll be back.
What do you have to say about your opponent today? He was very magnanimous in bringing over the belts and handing them to you, having lost the fight to you.
I take my hat off to him because he's a true warrior. Anybody that steps in the ring, I respect. It was nothing but respect through the whole build-up. Even though he got disrespectful, I stayed a gentleman and I stayed professional.
Congratulations. It is a momentous day. Undisputed champion of the world.
I want to thank George Kambosos and all of Australia for coming out. Thank you, George, for giving me the shot. A lot of these so-called champions, they wouldn't give me my shot, but George was a true champion and he gave me my shot. So thank you for this.
Congratulations, Devin. A tremendous job here today on enemy territory here at Marvel Arena. We will wander over the ring and make our way to George Kambosos right now to speak to the man who created this day right here in Marvel Arena. It's been a fabulous occasion, George. Obviously, it didn't work out the way you wanted, but what a day this has been.
Yeah, look, this is amazing for the sport, amazing for this country, and at the end of the day, I want to take the best test, the hardest test, so I'm going to give him full respect after his victory today, let him have his time, and we'll do it again. I had to implement a few things, but I thought the fight was very close, but look, I'm not going to wreck his moment. I had my moment in last November, and my moment was wrecked, so let him have his moment, and I'll see you again real soon.
I've got to take you back to yesterday, to the weigh-in. You had the hiccup as far as making weight was concerned. Was that a factor in this decision?
No, that was definitely not a factor. He just boxed his game. You know, he moved, he boxed. He didn't really want to come to fight too much, but that's his game. So I'll give him respect, and I'm going to change a few things and get him back end of this year. So all respect to him. Let him have his moment, and thank you to everybody in Australia, everyone in Greece, everyone in the world. I take the risk. I fight the best of the best, and at the end of the day, I didn't have to fight him. Not many wanted to fight him, but I gave him the shot straight away. So I'm sure we'll do it again. Thank you.
The right hand that was so effective against Teofimo Lopez in Madison Square Garden wasn't landed as much today. That was an issue for you.
Yeah, look, it landed a few times. I worked it to the body, but he had a smart game plan. He grabbed and held a lot, and did what he had to do to win. That's what it's about. You do what you have to do to win. And today, they gave him the decision, but I'm sure it will change when we get it on again. But again, respect to him, respect to boxing. This is boxing, and you fight the best. Win, lose, or draw, this is what it's about. Fuck protecting records. I've always been about fighting the best, and I gave him a shot. We do it again.
There is the rematch clause, of course, as you mentioned. You'll do it again.
You see those cards?
Later this year?
Yes, yeah, we do it again, and look, I gave him this shot. If I didn't give him the shot, he would not have got this shot and had his moment now, so we'll do it again, and I will get my shot again, 2-time.
It has been a fabulous week of boxing right here in Melbourne. What a show today. Congratulations once again. George Kambosos Jr. right here at Marvel Stadium. Thanks, George.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that came out. It's an amazing event, and this is what it's about. The best fighting the best, so give him his respect, and we'll get him again. Thank you, everybody that came, my team, my family, my kids. These are great memories for my kids, so thank you very much. I love boxing, and this is going to ignite the fire even more. I've been for a lot of adversity, so God bless, and I'll be back. Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you later this year. Jared, back to you.
Was there a moment you felt this fight was not in your control?
No, from round 1 to round 12, I boxed comfortably. I stuck to my game plan. My dad put out came up with a great game plan, and we stuck to it the whole fight. I just was staying focused. I was taking it round by round, and I won pretty much. I would say give myself 11 out of 12 rounds.
You lost a round? Which round?
I would say the last round, just because I took off. I knew that was winning comfortable, so I just wanted to, stay relaxed and box smart.
You said the key in part was taking the crowd out of the fight, but also taking him out of the fight. Could you feel him start to soften? Could you feel him get resigned that there's nothing I can do with this kid?
Yeah, say that again, sorry.
Did you feel a point where he said, hey, there's nothing I can do?
Yeah. As the fight was going on, I felt him giving up more and more. But I didn't want to press. I wanted to stick to my game plan. I knew that I was fighting in his hometown. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to pitch a shutout.
Okay, I thought it was pretty close to a shutout. George, hey, congratulations.
Respect. Thank you for the opportunity.
Congrats, and we'll do it again. Good fight today, good victory. Good time.
Congratulations to the both of you. But George, while I have you here, there is an automatic rematch clause. It wasn't a close fight, I don't think. Are you going to activate that clause? Okay, it's okay. Are you going to activate that clause?
I'm a warrior. For me, this adversity, I've got to come back and fight this adversity. It's part of the game. I'm not here to protect no zeros, and you're the same. He's not here to protect no zeros. Fight the best, and you know what? Young fighters are doing that. The rest need to do that in this sport, and I give him his time. He got the belts today, and we'll do it again.
I commend you both for that, but you didn't
game plans that I had in my head. Fortunately, they didn't work to the best of that I wanted to tonight, but I thought I did certain things that were great as well. But all the best to him. It's his time, and I'll be back to the drawing board, and we'll do it again.
Thank you both for the best, fighting the best. Bill, come here for a second. You started this thing. You were confident enough. To send your kids fighting in bars and pool halls in Tijuana as a teenager. What does this mean to you tonight?
Long post-fight interview, but it is undisputed. We're going to talk after.
This means everything. Hey, Mauricio, ain't we missing the belt? There should be 2 green ones over here.
You got 2 green. You got 2 green.
We got everything, Mark, and it means everything to me. This guy, I told people what kind of fighter he was. They didn't believe me, and now he showed the world. He came and pitched a shutout on a big stage like this with all the crowd against him, and they were silent. I'm so happy.
We believe you now. I think everybody around here believes you. Are you willing for your son to come back here? I don't know if there's any contractual leeway to come back here and do it all over again.
Of course, Allah knows best. Devin is the boss, and if he says we're coming back, we're coming back. He told me do everything to make this fight happen, right? I don't know if I would have. He said make it happen under any circumstance, and that's what we did.
Hey, man, it's been a pleasure covering all of you. Joe, back to you.
Well, once again, you had 2 judges score at 116-112, and then you had a 118-110. Me personally, as Devin Haney said in the post-fight interview, he took off round number 12. So I gave George Kambosos round number 2 and round number 12. He may have lost round number 11 as well, meaning Devin Haney, because he took his foot off the gas. Now the question is, what's going to be next? Because do people want to see a rematch of this? Do you want to see a rematch? Yes. Okay, I tell you what. 1 is yes, you want to see a rematch. Just type 1 in the chat if you want to see a rematch. 2, no for a rematch. We'll do a little quick poll like that. So 1 if you're for a rematch. 2 for no, because as it stands right now, I don't want to see this shit no more. Like it's like when a fighter is getting dominated and they get knocked the fuck out cold. It's like, yo, you don't want to have that happen to you again. And what can he do differently in a rematch? What can he do differently in a rematch? He fought the wrong fight. He was trying to outbox up. Oh shit! Oh, y'all guys you're going crazy. Oh well, listen. The people have spoken. The people have spoken. The people have spoken. What does the rematch bring to us? Do you okay? All right. Listen, for the hardcore fans, right? For the hardcore fans. Do you want to sit through that again? Now, I understand and remember, we're boxing connoisseurs. We love this shit. Fights that others call boring, we're going to be like, yo, that was a good fight. It was a chess match. But at the end of the day, do you really want to sit through that again? Is there going to be a day anytime soon, where if you're not doing it for research purposes, and you're going to be like, yo, I'm going to sit down and watch Haney versus Kambosos again. That was a cracker right there. Here's the punch stats right here. Haney outlanded Kambosos 159-100. And that's not a lot of punches. Ew. No way. No way, Jack. No way. Now, obviously, I got to sit through it if they fight again. Now, they had a 50 or so thousand there at the arena. And you would think that at the stadium, you would think that if they had the rematch, it was going to take place in Australia, because George Kambosos still has control over what happens with the rematch. So if he invokes his rematch clause, Devin Haney has to come back to Australia, and they still have to fight again. But I don't think no 50,000 people are going to show up. For Australian fans, where can they have this fight at over in Australia? It's got to be, what, a 10,000, seat arena, maybe 15,000. Like, who wants to sit through that again? Because what can George Kambosos do differently? Is he going to be able to evade the jab? Is he going to step up his punch output? Is he going to try to be ferocious and try to be the pressure fighter? Because what he did was he was trying to outbox Devin Haney, and he was looking for a big shot. And then he started lunging. And my issue with Devin Haney is because his hands are not clean. My issue with Devin Haney is, like, turn it up, you know? Like, there was times where you would think, like, okay, maybe he can be able to probably drop or stop George Kambosos, and they were telling him to follow up the jab with the right hand.
How dare you?
When he was doing it, he was somewhat successful. But Devin Haney, even though he's a great boxer, doesn't have the most appealing, pleasing style. But one thing is for sure, he's undisputed. Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, Vasyl Lomachenko, if they win a belt, they all got to come to him. And as it stands right now, he's going to be tied up until at least next April or so. And then the next fight, so basically, if it's Kambosos, right, again, sometime in the fall, then sometime next April or May around this time, earlier, sooner, it would be Haney versus Lomachenko. So already, that's a year from now tied up. But you know, where there's no titles available for any of the fighters. So guys like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, all those guys are going to have to fight each other. Even Shakur Stevenson, who's been talking about moving up, he has a better chance of getting Devin Haney. But there's a lot going on. And for, you know, George Kambosos to be talking all this shit and to put up the performance like that, not only did he miss weight, whatever the case may have been, scales or whatever, some shit went down because he did say all he had to do was take a piss. That's probably Big J right there. I don't really have time. I'm gonna let him. He going to get some interviews because he predicted a knockout. He's saying he ready. All right. Well, let me call him up. So Big J is my colleague. He's at the fight right now. And he predicted Kambosos by KO. So he's got to go to the post-fight press conference soon. He's going to be ringing me up. Here's some brief highlights. You know, it just wasn't really anything. It was just jabs. Kambosos was trying, you know, to do something, but it was mostly just jabs, just eating him up. Look, just eating him up. That was the fight. Look. Bet you another one's going to come jab. And he just couldn't do nothing about it, especially since, you know, he doesn't have the reach. But there was no big, like, wobbling punch in the fight. You know, the type of fight. By the way, shout out for the super chat. Thanks, Sam, for that would be like Fulton versus Roman again. Yes. Oh, wait, here's my colleague, Big J. All right, let's see what he has to say. All right, mate. So what's going on? What were your thoughts on the fight? I understand you're at the arena right now and you got to go get to some interviews and post-fight, but what's your thoughts?
Well, Haney used a jab and won. I mean, 118, 110 was ridiculous, but you know, Haney used that jab and just kept him at bay and neutralized him, really, because it wasn't really an exciting fight. The crowd was very, very quiet until George got in there and ting. But yeah, I mean, it was a win for Haney. It wasn't an exciting win. Like, it's a normal Devin Haney win. He did what he needed to do, but it wasn't finessing or exciting or anything like that. So, I don't know. What did you think?
Well, like I said, you know, he fought the wrong fight. You know, he went out there to try to outbox him.
Yeah, George,
go ahead.
George kept on waiting for the counter because he was waiting to catch him, and it just didn't go after him. He did the exact opposite of what he did in the Lopez fight.
For a fighter as defensively sound as Devin Haney, and it's well known, even George said it himself, he's a highly respected and very, very good, technically slick boxer. For him to go out there to try to outbox him, that was the wrong game plan. He needed to go out there to try to rough him up, be in his face, and try to impose his will on him like he did with Teofimo Lopez.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what he should have done. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Devin got the win. Full credit to him. He used that jab and did what he needed to do. So, yeah, now it's the matter of if the rematch happens.
Okay, well, yeah, well, let me ask you this. And how do you feel about the rematch before I let you go? How do you feel about the rematch? Honestly, I don't think there should be a rematch, and if it is, it should be in a smaller arena, not no stadium.
I don't think a rematch will happen, personally.
It's too much on the line of those belts. Politically, though, I don't think that Kambosos' team going to let him walk away from that.
Yeah, exactly. So George will have to change. All George has to do is do exactly what he did with Lopez and help you right. He needs to be the aggressor. That's
Well,
what he needs to do.
So, all right, I think you got to start getting the interviews and everything. So, we'll chat later on, Big J.
Yeah, no worries, man.
All right. All right, yeah. So hopefully he'll be able to get us an interview with Devin Haney and or George Kambosos. So he's there right now. The post-fight press conference is going to be starting soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to take about a half an hour break. I'm wondering if I should leave the stream live or start a new one. Well, anyway, we're going to take a half an hour break, and then we're going to come back for the post-fight press conference. Once again, take a time out, like the video, subscribe. Down below in the description box is the link to all my social media. It's on my link tree right down below. Literally, it's in the description box of the YouTube video. You'll be able to follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well. My Facebook group is opening up in a couple of weeks under Fight View 360. Shout out to my colleague Big J, who's got some interviews on the channel from Lucas Browne, Michael Buffer. So basically, we covered the shit out this fight this weekend. Shout out to and thank you to Main Event, the pay-per-view platform over there. Also, it's $60 over there on Main Event pay-per-view. Fans are not going to pay for that again. So thank you to Duco, thank you to Top Rank, thank you to the viewers, all the guys who super chatted. During the main events of post fights of major fights, we live stream during the main event. You know, I don't like a lot of dead time in between my stream. We like to make sure we're giving you, like nice, like straightforward content. Also, my podcast is going to be starting soon. The beginning of July, it's finally here, where we're going to be talking about boxing basically for an hour a week, and I'm going to be giving you like full-fledged breakdowns. But my breakdown of this fight is simple. George Kambosos fought the wrong game plan. He fought the wrong game plan. He went out there to try to outbox him. Like, what was he thinking? And what can he change in the rematch? He's just going to get his head jabbed off again. I don't see any difference between now and what he can improve in the rematch. And as far as who is Devin Haney going to fight next, I think it's going to be Kambosos again, but it can't be in no stadium. Hopefully, for me, I'm hoping it's Lomachenko. And I'm only saying that because I would love for it to be Tank, but politically, we know that ain't going to happen. And it is what it is. I would like to see Haney versus Shakur too. That can happen. Let me tell you something. If it's not George Kambosos, we'll see. I'm just talking to hear myself. Oh, you probably a Kambosos fan. Get out of here. I'm T Street Controversy with 5U 360. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in about about a half an hour or so for the post-fight show. Also, be sure to drop some likes before you go. Thanks for watching.